the faculty, that community started to spread out just a little bit when my faculty came back, because we have each other and the faculty and staff that we're concerned about and we have to think about. And starting Wednesday, it's going to spread out a little more, that we're going to include all of the families that are going to be coming back to school. So we're going to do our job on our end, and we're really asking all of our folks on the other end to do their job, to continue to be safe, to practice good social distancing and wearing your face coverings and doing the smart things, because we're all going to be collected together now. And I think if we all continue to do our parts, we're going to have a great school year. This year is going to be a little different in a lot of ways. It's going to be different starting with the very first day, but it's going to be a good year. Ms. Davis will go over some more of this in just a few minutes, but our students will go directly to their classes when they get here in the mornings after having their temperature taken. Class changes are going to look a little more different. They're going to be a little more organized and uniform, getting from class to class. She will explain more about that process. Lunch and snack are going to look a little different. Coach will talk about how recess and PE are going to look a little bit different. But it's all going to be to benefit you. Everything we're doing is to teach you, let you see your friends, let you have a good time learning in school, but also being safe. I do want you to know too, if for some reason we had to go virtual again, it's certainly not something that we're planning to do, but we're 1,000 times more prepared than we were in the springtime. I think our folks did a wonderful job in the spring. I think you guys did a great job in the spring pulling together, but we all know we want to be in class and we want to be face-to-face and we want to be enjoying each other's company and learning. But if, heaven forbid, we have to make that change sometime during the school year, please know that our plan is already in place and it's going to be 1,000 times better than what we did before. I wanted to go through and introduce, if I could, the faculty members that are on here. They're normally, if again, in orientations in the past, they're standing in the front of the room with me, but now I'm just going to scroll down the line as I see them and tell you what their responsibilities are going to be. Right next to me is Miss Makel, and Miss Makel will be again in our front office, and she'll be handling development and communication, and you'll be hearing from her a lot concerning, well, just any of the goings on here at school. She will be the person that you'll be talking to primarily. I see Miss Palmer, and Miss Palmer has made a move. Miss Palmer is going to be teaching social studies this year. And so she's going to be over in what was Miss Bovender's room. Miss Bovender has moved to our JYA faculty, so she's going to be in high school. And Miss Palmer is going to be doing social studies. You'll be hearing from her shortly. Next to Miss Palmer, I have Mr. Dickerson. Mr. Dickerson is going to be one of our new math teachers this year. We're excited to have him on campus with us. Mr. Petty is still on our staff. He has moved to high school. He's going to be working with our JYA program. We're excited to have Mr. Dickerson. Next to him, I see Miss Davis, who's back in her role as our academic dean, and she can wave to us. There she is. And so her room is in the same place, and she'll be doing the same wonderful job she did before. Miss Williams is the next I see, and she is back in her science world over there. So you'll be working with Miss Williams in science again. And Miss Sands is right beside her. It's still in her same room as a part of our literacy team. Miss Roll is the next person I see, and again, she's in her same room as a part of our literacy group. And then I have Coach M. Coach M will be back as your PE and health teacher, so he'll be speaking to you shortly. Hello, Eleanor Ware. I see you next, sitting there between them. How are you, Eleanor? I'm now over to Miss Garner, and Miss Garner is going to be running our business office again, but her office has moved. She's back on the hallway in a different location from where she was before. So if you need to speak with her, we can certainly direct you to her. The next person I see in line is Miss Lynn, our counselor, and she's in her location where she was before. There's going to be doing a lot of neat and different things with you this coming year that she's going to share with you in just a few minutes. Miss Barbie's the next faculty member I see, and she's in her room again as a part of our literacy team. The next person I see is Miss Heiss, and Miss Heiss is going to be teaching art for us this year. Mr. Pravat is not with us this year. We're sad to see Mr. Pravat go, but he and his wife have moved to Michigan, and they're both going to be going to graduate school in their respective areas of theater and art and those things. And so we're very sad to see them go, but we're very happy and excited for them for this new adventure in their lives. I'm going to go back and say one more thing about Miss Williams. I mentioned earlier, Miss Williams is also going to continue to be the EC coordinator. So if you have any questions concerning grants or testing or anything like that, she's the person that you'll need to see and talk to along those lines. The next faculty member I see is Miss Pugh, and she is back teaching math, and she'll be speaking to you in just a few minutes about our math program. And I think I hit all of our faculty members. So again, students and parents, I can't stress enough how excited we are to be back in school. We really missed you guys in the spring, and we've missed you all summer. A couple of you did come into our summer programs, but we're just ready to get started. So I'm going to turn this over at this time to Miss Makel to share some things with you, and you're going to have several of our folks talking to you. And then at the end, if you have any questions that you would like to ask of us, we'll be happy to answer questions for you. So Miss Makel, I'm going to turn this back over to you.
All right, thank you. Well, hi, everyone. Man, I have surely missed seeing your faces. This is great. So what I am going to do, I am actually going to share my screen because what I would like to show is mostly for your parents. So parents, I am going to share this. Thumbs up if you can see my screen. Good, we got it? Okay, all right. So parents, what I wanted to show you today is just some things in Parents Web. I know you guys have all gotten in there before. That's where you've done your re-enrollment and things like that. But we're relying even heavier on it than we have before as a place that you can just really go back and find things. So this week, a lot of information will be coming home with your student, just beginning of the year things, calendars, faculty email lists, things like that. But we've also put them in Parents Web. So when you go to renweb.com and you go to this blue login button and you would choose Parents Web login, what it will do is it takes you to a page like this, and there will be an information page coming home to you this week as well that has this district code that you'll always need. It's capital T, capital P, hyphen, capital NC. And you will need that every time to log in. The username and password or whatever you have created for your account. I was saying earlier, Fax and RenWeb are very secure, much like Apple, in that the best I can see is the email address that you may have used to sign up for it. And I can reset a password, but I can't see your current password. So if for some reason you can't remember your login information, it's really best to use this hyperlink down here, the forgot username and password, because it really doesn't let me see much. But once you get in, oops, wrong tab. Hold on, where are we? Oh, it took my screen. Okay, give me 1 second. I want to be able to show you what it looks like when you log in, because I want to show you some of the important documents that you will be able to see. Here we go. All right. Okay. So when you log in, it looks like this. Over on the right, you'll see some school calendars. We're still inputting this information, but it's just by Wednesday, it should be pretty much ready to go. It's just important dates like the first day of school, the end of trimester dates, early release dates, things like that. Under the events, you will see any coming up events, such as today, we have the orientation schedule. There will be a calendar view like this. I said in the earlier Zoom, this is not my favorite layout, but you'll see blue dots where there's important days. I'll show you later where a printout copy of our academic calendar is. I would stick to that. So a common question I get is directory information. So over on this left-hand side, you'll see a directory. This is great for if you're trying to contact a fellow classmate who you may want to set up a play date, you may want to do something for birthdays. Here you'll find all TPS and JYA students and their contact info. If for some reason you can't find the student you're looking for, that family may have chosen to opt out of the directory. And if you'll just shoot me an email, I'll help get you in contact with them. We don't have very many that do that, so you should find most everyone. For your students under classes, now the one I've got up is a primary student, so you're not going to see very much. But for your student, you will see their list of classes. You'll see word study and who their teacher is, language arts, math, social studies, science, PE, art, and then you'll see the teacher information. The big tab I would like to show you is this resource documents. This is where we are loading a lot of the hard copy papers that'll be coming home this week. the very first thing you'll see is a printable version of our academic calendar. I recommend, we're sending home a hard copy Wednesday, but if you're anything like me, 3 months from now, you will have no idea where it is. So I recommend printing one off, keeping one on the refrigerator, maybe keeping one, in your planner or somewhere at work so you have it. This will give you everything from the start dates to the trimester. We did adjust our calendar. We were going to be on that modified calendar with the 2-week intersessions, and we did have to adjust it due to our later start date this year. But there are some brief intersession dates to help give our Panthers kind of the time they're going to need. It also worked out really well with kind of the recommendations on the pandemic and things like that. So make sure you print off a copy. Outside of Labor Day, we are really not off until there's a week in October. That's an intersession week for students. Also on this page, you will see a Piedmont School and JYA contact list. This is every administrator and faculty member's email addresses in case you need those for any reason. Anything that says JYA on it, it will not apply to you guys. That's our high school program. You will see a TPS, behavior continuum of consequences. This is similar to our behavior policies from last year. Ms. Davis will go over these a little bit later. There's just a couple small changes, but if you'd like to print a copy so that you know, it will be there. Mr. Montgomery mentioned the reentry plan. The most up-to-date reentry plan is right here. It's the one that you hopefully received by email on Friday. Very few changes. I think the biggest change to the reentry plan that went out on Friday was just a nice overview of all the safety precautions that we put in place. And the only thing that we wanted to make sure to add is that all students will need a refillable water bottle with their name on it. Something preferably with like a sports style top that doesn't leak or spill very easily. Per the DHHS recommendations, our water fountains have been turned off, but the refillable stations will still be available to students. So they'll need to have a water bottle with their name so they can refill water throughout the day. This waiver of liability is for JYA. You'll see JYA, you don't need that. Lunch ordering information is right here. That's how to get into orgs online, any passcodes you may need. If you are planning to order lunch for the start of the year, I believe you need to do so by the first day of school. And then you will receive the lunch ordering schedule for the remainder of the year coming on Wednesday. But if you want to order for the end of August, I believe you have to do it by this Wednesday. We are still updating our 2020-2021 student handbook, but it will live right here. The really only changes that you will see in there are the new behavior additions and also a link for our reentry plan, which includes kind of our updated sick policy, which is in the reentry plan. Support services is a great list that Ms. Lynn helped put together. If you're looking for speech therapy services, OT, local counseling services, this document has some great information. You will not need the JYA community hours. Our inclement weather policy, my really bad joke earlier is that we do not include earthquakes in this. Maybe we should. But this is where you'll find how we handle snow closures, early releases, things like that. And then the last thing down here is the Remind text system. We are still using that. I believe everyone on here was on there last year. I do like to say if you have gotten a new phone since March or you've done a major software update on your phone, sometimes it will take you off in doing that. So you may need to re-add yourself. We will be sending out a remind on the first day of school. If you go all day and you don't receive a remind text, shoot me an email and I will make sure that we get you added back. All right, resource documents. The next thing I'm going to show you is if you go under student, here we go. This is where you can see a nice little snapshot of their teachers, their classes. If there's any behavior things going into RedWeb, you'll be able to see them here. Ms. Davis will talk more about that, but this is just a nice little update there. Oops, here we go. In their schedule, you'll be able to see, you'll be able to click. This is just kind of like a grid version. Some find it more confusing than others, but the students will receive a hard copy of this as well to help them. Under family, This is where I like to point out if anybody has moved or changed a cell phone number or changed an email address, you can update all of that here by choosing this little pencil, and it will give you the opportunity to edit. I like to say that this is actually the fastest way to get your information updated, because when you update it here, it's real time in our system, versus if you call to let us know and it gets written down and passed off to somebody to put it in. Sometimes it won't get in there by the end of the day. So this is just the easiest way to make sure it's in there right away. Also on this page, you will see a family demographic form. If you click on this, this is anything that may change for your student. Maybe you need to change the medical information. You discovered a new allergy over the summer. You started a new medicine. You can update that there. Any parent contact information. You can also, under the emergency contacts, you can update that. Transportation is anybody that would be allowed to pick up your child from school. Maybe that has changed. Maybe you'd like to add somebody. That is where you would do that. And again, all this information becomes real time in our system once you put it there. And then, oops, not there, scroll down. And then this, under the enrollment and re-enrollment, I'm just mentioning this for Ms. Manus. I think most everybody has completed all the re-enrollment forms. Embedded within our re-enrollment forms, you would have seen things like a immunizations form. You would have seen things like a publicity form. If that's not in your memory of completing that, if you wouldn't mind just going there and clicking to be sure you have everything checked off, you'll see little green arrows to the left of each section. If you have green arrows all the way down, you're good to go. But sometimes those publicity forms and the medication forms, they can get easily passed over. If you happen to miss a form, you'll probably be hearing from Ms. Manus in the next 2 weeks or so, and we'll help you get that taken care of. But that's where those are. And then lastly, the financial piece over here on the left, that will take you to a link that will take you to FACTS, which deals with your tuition, your payment plans, all those things. Any questions regarding the financials will need to go to Ms. Garner, and she will help you work through those. I think that is it in Parents Web for me. I am going to turn it over next to Ms. Davis. Don't forget to unmute yourself, Ms. Davis.
You hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, Panthers. I want to go over really quickly. I'm not going to go over the whole policy, our behavior policy. I'm just going to go over a few changes we made that we think are going to help us be more efficient in our communication. You'll see in the red that we've made it more specific, that with a number, after 10 level 1 transgressions, the students will move to level 2. That's really for administration to know when we should get involved, maybe create a behavior plan to help the student become successful in the classroom. We just ask parents that you pay attention to your emails, because any submission, level 1 submission, will go automatically to your email. And in most cases, we just want you to have a follow-up conversation to get the students back on track. And then of course, level 2, then I would be involved, where I would make a phone call and we work out a plan to help the student be successful. These levels, the 10 would be across different classes. So we give 10 because they may just have a bad day. And so we want to give as many opportunities for them to get back on track. I think I'm not going to say anything else about the behavior plan because you all are very familiar with it. We do have 4 levels as opposed to 3 this year. So we'll send hard copies this week for you to read that in more detail. I want to talk about a few changes that we're going to have at the start of the year. Unfortunately, no off-campus field trips, boo. But you all know I love to have some fun. So we're behind the scenes working on some fun things that we can bring to campus and some fun things that we can do to enrich our classroom, the academics. We will like Mr. Montgomery said, class change will look a little different. So instead of you being released after a class, you will walk with your class, with a teacher, to the next class. We just want to make sure we're not having overcrowding. We want to make sure we're still having the 6 feet social distancing. We're also scheduling bathroom breaks every other class period. It's not to say that you can't go to the bathroom when you need to, but we're going to make it more organized. So every other class period, there will be a time for you to be able to go to the bathroom and wash those hands. But of course, if there's an emergency and it's not a class that has a bathroom break, you would just simply ask your teacher. We're limiting the bathroom to 2 people in the bathroom. And so we'll give you more of those specifics on the first day of school. And I'm sure the first week, 2 weeks, it'll be about routines and procedures. Your ratio in each class, parents, I know you're going to be interested to hear this. Core classes, which include your literacy, math, and your lab, that ratio is 4-to-1. In a lot of cases, there's only going to be 3 students, but that's the ratio for your core classes. The ratio is a little bit bigger for your block classes, which includes science, social studies, PE, and art, because they have bigger rooms. That ratio is 6-to-1. The difference this year in the schedule, I kept kids in what we consider a bubble of the same kids. So they'll only be in contact with the same kids all day. So they'll travel with up to the same 5 or 6 kids during the school day. We have these nice lanyards that each student will get. There will be no mask outside, but so that we can keep up with your mask, you will be able to put your mask on your lanyard so we don't lose them. Now, if you lose them, we also have disposable mask in the office. So if a student forgets a mask, we'll make sure they have a mask. Lockers, more bad news. We're not going to, 6th graders, we're not going to start the year with lockers. We're going to keep your materials in your book bags and you're going to hang them on hooks. So everything is about safety. That's the theme. But again, this is very temporary, hopefully, and these things will change. I know our 6th graders look forward to those lockers, but in keeping all of our students safe, we're going to hold off. I usually assign those lockers. You will have a locker before the end of the year, I promise. And I think that's it. So I'm going to let Miss Lynn go next, our wonderful counselor.
Good morning, everybody. It's so nice to see everyone's face. Just to go over a little bit about what I will be doing this year, I will continue doing connections classes. I will see every grade level every other week. I will be pushing into art classes. And one of the things we're really going to focus on is social skills, along with keeping with the theme of character education and things like that. Mrs. Roll and I sat down last week, and one of our other initiatives for the school is to really focus on wellness and mindfulness. So for this year, we've kind of got a theme / mantra that we're going to continue to infiltrate all the classes with and have our students memorize. And that mantra is going to be, may I be healthy, happy, peaceful, and filled with joy. So this is something that we're really going to drill into everybody to kind of start our year off on a positive note and help students continue this journey on a positive note. One of the other things that we are going to do is small group counseling, and if there's any students that need individual counseling, I will be available for that as well. And I'm hoping for a great year, and I'm really happy to have all the kids back. And I am going to pass it on to Ms. Roll.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm going to be talking about literacy on behalf of our literacy team. I just wanted to start off by saying that we're going to take it slow. We're going to ease into the school year with homework just being a reading log. Look out for an email coming from your individual teacher on policies for homework, novels, all of that good stuff will be coming out. There will also be a student and parent survey sent out so we can get a little bit more knowledge on what your students like, what they've been doing over the summer, if they've been reading, what they like to read, so on and so forth. And our goal is just to provide an authentic reading and writing experience through our class. So a couple of the novels that we will be reading either as a read aloud or a novel study. Wonderland by Barbara O'Connor. We had the joy to have her as an author speaker last year, so that was really fun. We'll continue to enjoy her awesome writing. The Jacket by Andrew Clemens, and then One Crazy Summer. So you will be exposed to one or more of these wonderful books throughout the beginning of this first trimester. Something else that we're going to also work on is writing. The first trimester is going to be narrative writing, then we're going to go to informational and end the year with opinion writing. You also have journals and reading responses, so it's going to be full of some very fun projects, but overall, we're really excited to have you all back and can't wait to see you on Wednesday. I'm going to be passing it off to Ms. Pugh.
Okay, good morning. It's so good to see everybody back. I've missed you all since last spring. It's been a long time. I've been amazed that a lot of you, I see some of your faces that have done IXL during the summer. I'm so impressed. That's amazing. Mr. Dickinson and I are going to be the math teachers this year. Mr. Petty, as Mr. Montgomery said, has moved to upper school, so we'll still see him, and we're all three going to be in charge of student council. Since we didn't get to really finish out the year with student council last year, we decided to keep the same officers. We won't have a new election. So, and we just moved some people up. So Caroline Chrisman is going to be president of student council. Amelia Denning is going to be the secretary and treasurer. Eleanor, you and Nicholas will be our representatives. And Rose Touch will be the JYA representative. So we'll be doing some different things because of the COVID virus and everything. We have some surprises planned for you already, and we'll be looking forward to getting some input from you guys as to what you would like for student council to do this year in the realm of what we're able to do. As far as math, we're still going to be doing IXL and computer lab. And one thing we forgot to mention in the first session is we will need for you to bring your own earphones for the computer lab. Be sure you put your name on those. You don't just have to keep up with them all day long. That's kind of a new policy for us this year. As far as math, we're still going to be doing some projects in class. We'll be doing some cooking activities, some kind of fun kind of things. We have like some STEM days we're tentatively planning to do. We'll be working with money and trying to make math exciting and kind of real world experiences. The main thing that I need parents to do is to remember, you were great about this last year, is like check your agenda each day. Mostly we will not have homework other than just to finish up what wasn't finished in class. But we will write in the agenda that the students will write and we'll initial it, or either we'll write it that they have homework to finish their worksheet or to work on IXL or something like that at night. But I just need for you to look at that and sign it so I'll know that you know that they did or did not have homework. And that's just a good way for us to keep communication going if you'll just check that each night. Also, the same as last year, when they have an assessment, we'll send that home with the grade on it. If you will sign it and return it, then I add 3 points to their grade. So a lot of kids ended up with more than 100 average last year for their grade on assessment, and they were really happy about that. We'll continue to have a grade for participation and homework in the assessments, with assessments counting 70% and homework and participation counting 15% each. So we're looking forward to having a really good math year, and we're trying to, since we're having smaller classes, we're looking forward to doing a lot of hands-on stuff and doing some fun things. I think that's all I have for Math and Student Council. So I believe Ms. Williams is next.
What's up, Panthers? Let's talk about some science for the year. We will continue with spiraling our science topics. We go through about every 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, we switch our topics, and that way you get to talk a little bit about everything. We're going to be starting with physics, but you know we're going to have to talk a little bit about that earthquake yesterday, so that'll be fun. Homework's going to look a little different. I'm trying to cut back on sending a lot of stuff home and back and forth, so all homework is going to be done through Google Classroom. There's usually only one assignment a week for science, and it'll be due on Fridays that we have school. I'll be sending emails and newsletters. Parents, look for those. Also writing in the agenda. Students will be writing their assignments in the agenda, or if we have a quiz coming up, they'll write that in there too. We will still have research and projects in class, as always. We will still be using our living notebooks in class and working with computers in class also. My plan right now is that they will be handling their notebooks themselves, but to submit pages to me, they'll do it electronically. So they'll get some more practice with that in class. Also, supplies and materials in science class, you'll have your own box so we can keep things kind of separate and clean and not have to share materials right now. Parents, as Mr. Montgomery said, I am your EC liaison still, so just keep in mind if you have questions or if your date is coming up for paperwork. I will be keeping an eye on it myself, but you can also contact me at any point with questions on what do we need to do to get things started. And it may look a little different this year how we have to handle some of that as well. So just let me know if you have any questions. I'm here for you. And I am going to turn it over to Ms. Palmer.
Good morning. Can you hear me? You can hear me? Yes. Okay, good. I had trouble in the earlier session. I learned a new skill today. Unmute. Some of you had me for social studies when you were young, right, Eleanor? Jason, do you remember having me for social studies when you were just a little guy? Yeah? And some of you haven't had me before. I was so excited when Mr. Montgomery asked me to take on this challenge. I feel that I get to embrace a lot of my favorite things. I love history. Of course, I love literature, and we're going to tie all those things together. Just made some little props today to show some of the things we'll be studying. Of course, we'll talk about our community. We'll move along and talk some about North Carolina, United States, and older guys, a lot about the world. I plan on using interactive notebooks. It's a great place to do a lot of creative work. Interactive notebooks involves students designing their own learning. For example, if you're doing vocabulary, you'll not just write down a definition, you'll do an illustration. Research tells us that the more modes of learning we use, the better we remember. I love interactive notebooks, project-based learning, hands-on activities, things that get our brains working. I also always include a read aloud. If you had me when you were younger, we read a lot of diaries from people in history. We're actually going to start also with Barbara O'Connor. I couldn't resist. I'm including this book, How to Steal a Dog. It is a work of fiction, but it covers some very important social issues, things that people are facing right now. And I know with all these intelligent young ladies and young men, we will have some great conversations from this book. And of course, as you've already heard today, we adore Barbara O'Connor. Just be ready for a great learning journey. I'm super excited. I still get to see you as library lady there for the glasses today. So I look forward to that as well. So I feel fortunate that I get to see everyone this year. So have a good couple of days. And as Mr. Montgomery always tells us, buckle up. See you soon. Coach, are you ready?
Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. I'm looking forward to this unique challenge of PE. It should be a lot of fun. I just want to talk about PE real quick and how we're going to go about it. We're going to be sanitizing our hands before and after classes. We got different stations set up as talked about, but we really want to make sure we're taking those precautions. We are outside. We can spread out. We can follow our social distance guidelines that we've been able to follow while we're still participating in physical activities. We're going to mostly stick to physical activities, individualized physical activities, no team games or anything like that. And we're going to focus mostly on fitness in the class, seeing where you are, what your abilities are, and what I can help you with. It's still going to be a typical PE class and a lot of fun and activity going on, just spread out and safe. Masks don't need to be worn during class, but we still need to be careful when we sneeze. We need to cover when you sneeze into our arms and just not touching people and things like that. So we just need to stay safe, and I'll remind you and things like that. If we do use any of the equipment, we'll be cleaning it before and after class, and it'll be individualized. So we're not going to do too much sharing of the equipment. Moving on to health, we're going to work on brain pop. It's pretty cool thing that I use to teach health. We're going to focus on safety, wellness, body systems, and feelings this year. Recess will be a little different as well. Students will be split up in groups of more than 4, and participants will be at different stations. I'll have different activities set up, and we'll have time limits at each activities. What I'm going to try to do is change the activities up every day or every week, depending on what they are and how much the students are engaged in them, to give them different opportunities for play and just a brain break. So, but that's all I've got. If I'm going to also send the syllabus home by email for you guys to review. And there's a lot of good information on things to wear and rules and things like that. So, all right, I'm going to pass it on to Ms. Heiss in art. Thank you.
Hi, guys. Glad to see you, and I hope you're ready to come back on Wednesday. I know you all have seen me wear many different hats at the school, but this year I've got a brand new sparkly, colorful hat, and I am ready to go with art class. I've got a lot of things, exciting things planned, and I think you're going to like them. I think we're going to start, we're going to have themes throughout the year, and we're going to start with summer and the ocean. I know a lot of us didn't get to go on vacation, so we're going to take a little mini vacation here at school. We're also going to be doing some painting, maybe some abstract painting, and that means just kind of crazy painting, and paper crafts, and some clay maybe, and weaving, and having a sketching notebook. So, and if any of you all have an idea of something you would like to do, let me know. I am always open for suggestions. We are going to have in class, everybody is going to have one of these little boxes, and it's filled with a brand new pair of scissors, glue stick, crayons, markers, colored pencils, and these will be in a gallon-sized baggie. This will have your name on it as well as the baggie, and they will stay in the classroom. So you don't have to worry about bringing any materials to art class because I'll have everything for you. And we will be washing our hands, sanitizing after, right before we change classes. And I'll be taking you to your next class. And I'm just super, super excited to see you. Oh, and my new room is in the Commons, so you'll have to come by and see it. All right, Mr. Montgomery, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready. So again, as all the teachers have said, and I shared earlier, we're excited about this. We're excited about having the kids back. We've really missed seeing you guys. I think we're going to have a great year. It's going to be different, but it's going to be great. We're excited about having you back on campus. I think we have just a couple of minutes left. If anyone has a specific question that you would like to ask of the group, we'd be happy to answer it for you now. If you decide you have a question later or something you just wanted to ask one of us individually, you can certainly reach out to us. We're here the rest of the day today and also tomorrow. But are there any questions? Anyone have any questions for us at this time?
Me?
Yes. Hello.
What time do we start school?
Well, you'll start at the regular time, but when you get to school this year, we'll take your temperature first, and then you will be directed to go straight to your classroom. Okay? So you'll start at 8 o'clock, but instead of going to the Commons, you'll go to your classroom. Oh. Any other questions? That was a great question, Gunnar. Great question.
Is there like, are there people, are we gonna still go to like, High Point University?
Are we still gonna go? Like the trip we made to High Point University?
Mm-hmm. There's still gonna be people who do that?
I would say right now that would be put on hold. High Point University would have a lot to do with anything like that since we come onto their campus. As Ms. Davis mentioned earlier, we're putting on hold any field trips or any extracurricular clubs or sports or those things. And it's just to help keep you guys safe as we start this first trimester. So the HPU trip is probably on hold right now, but HPU would have a lot to do with it. Maybe instead of in the fall, Alexander, like we have done that in the past, it would be a springtime thing. Okay? Any other questions?
I do.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
So the school will start like all the time at 8 or 8:15, and it will be ending at 2:30 like regular time, or is going to be a change?
No, the time will be as it has always been. They'll be needing to be here at 8 o'clock and school is out at 2:30. We are having after school on campus this year with a limited number of students. Some of you have probably already signed up for that. If you haven't, you need to reach out to Ms. Garner and let her know that you're interested in after school. We'll also be able to accommodate after school a drop-in if it has to be, if at all possible. We're going to try to avoid that, but we understand sometimes situations come up. So if you need after school for a drop-in, we will be able to accommodate you, but the regular school hours will be the same.
And what will be the schedule for the after school?
It will, I believe we have it ending at 5:30 this year. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that. Either Ms. Garner or Ms. Maple or someone.
5:30 is correct.
5:30 is correct. And it's going to be manned this year. After school is going to be manned by Mr. Petty and also Coach M. So they will be sort of tag teaming on our after school program this year.
Okay, so they will be able to do homework if they decide to do after school out there?
Yes. Yes, it'll be set up like we've had before, that the first probably 30, 40, 45 minutes will be homework and homework assistance. And then after that, they will either have some outside time, they will have individual computer time, possibly come to the computer lab. Certain days they may put a movie in as they've done in the past. But the first thing that they'll do in after school is get any homework that they have completed.
Okay, my last question. Sorry to ask too many
That's okay.
questions. What about for lunch? Are they able to bring their own lunch from home without issue?
Excellent question. Yes, they can bring their lunch from home. It'll stay, instead of going into the cubbies like we've done it before, it'll just stay with their book bag on their hook. We're trying to keep everyone's personal items individualized this year. So also, they will not be sitting at tables like they've been in the past. They'll be at individualized desks that are 6 feet distanced apart. And they will have their temperature taken a second time as they come in to lunch for us, just to be safe and sure. And of course, the sanitizing will go on as well. We'll be sure everything is sanitized with that. We have the same vendors that we had this past year, except with the pizza. We're using CC's for pizza this year as opposed to Papa John's. And the reason we made that switch is that we want all of the lunches that are ordered to be individually packaged with the names on them. So we're not doing any handling of food. So we switched to CC's, and they will package the pizza. And also, I think there's like carrot sticks or a couple of different things you can order from them. So if you do order, you will have, it'll be prepackaged. They will pick it up as they come in. They'll have their name on it. So no one else really will be touching anything that's going on, just them.
Okay. My last question, are they going to be able to use the microwave or not?
Yes. We will allow them to be able to use their microwave.
Okay.
So any other questions?
That's it. I think I covered all.
You probably asked a lot of questions that other people had, so you just got it for everyone. That's good.
Well, I'm glad that I was able to clarify those things, because I had those doubts, and it's like, I don't know if they will be able to bring food. I don't know if the food has to be able to be warm up in the microwave because of the whole safety issues that you guys are trying to do their best for the whole children and you guys as well. So I just want to be able to see if I understand well everything that you've been like talking about.
They will have, let me tell you this too, they'll have their snack in the classrooms this year. We're not going to have them all come together for snack. So they can bring an individualized snack that's packaged, but we'll be doing that in the classrooms.
Okay.
Yes, Kara, did you have a question? No? Okay. All right. Any other questions? Ms. Makel, did I miss anything?
I think you got it covered pretty well. And I was going to let everyone know that we did record the session. And so once it has an opportunity to download and compress, I will email it out to everyone just in case you want to review it, or if you have a spouse that wasn't able to watch it or anything like that. This session has been recorded. So we will get that out to you this afternoon sometime. All right. And I think that is everything. And enjoy your last 2 days, kiddos. And we will see you at 8 o'clock Wednesday morning.
Bye.